Hey everybody, it's Amelia. It's Wednesday, and if you can hear me and see me, please tell me in the chat because then my anxiety about whether or not this is working I'll feel better. So yes, please confirm that all is good. And while I waffle, while I wait for people to let me know that we're here, then yeah. All right, so it's Wednesday, and we're here for the weekly meetup. I don't have a big agenda plan today, but mostly I just wanted to chat with everybody. And like the chat is already, people are filtering in, which is awesome, and talking about how things are going. And I just want to go through those and talk to folks. I'm really excited to, for one, talk to everybody, and then also just kind of get my sound good, video good. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Will. Yeah, no, yeah. So anyway, let me get organized here. It is May the 5th, after May the 4th yesterday. And what is kind of neat about the May the 4th is that 12 months ago, I was working on my 2019 case study, and it was like cruising, right? Like we were right in like the pandemic going up, and that site was like taken off. And then May the 4th happened, and my site just got like just slaughtered, like bloodbath slaughtered, and it just took the wind out of me. 12 months ago yesterday that happened, and it would have been one of those opportunities where I just would have said, you know what, I can do this, or I could just say, I'm out, like I'm gonna quit, this sucks. Like I put in a year's worth of work on this thing just to have it go to zero. And so yeah, fast forward 12 months and here we are. And I'm working on a new site that I'm really excited about. So anyway, it's just perspective, 12 months of maybe quitting to being really excited about being here. So yes, today I am repping the gear, the WP Eagle shirt and mug, and that was not planned, just happened to be that was what was on top of the laundry. I'm going over to the chat to say hey to the folks who are here. I love having you guys here. It's great to really catch up. There is Anthony and Adrian and Paul, who I can't wait to talk about here in a little bit, and Sabina. I'm excited to see you guys and to hear how things are going. There's Pavan and Margaret and Jeff. Thank you for dropping in. And Will and Sushi. What is going on? I haven't seen you in a while. There is Jasper. Friends, hit the thumbs up button. It will help YouTube. I'm actually not sure if it helps YouTube do anything, but it makes me feel good. It just does. I just like that little ego boost, like that thing. Just hit that, and maybe other people will see that we're here and come and hang out with us. There is John. What is going on? John was on the stream last week and put up with my style of live streaming and did a great job. So if you missed that, it's in the library. Check it out. So far in the chat, I just wanted to shout out Tortoise Cashflow. That's our friend, Anthony. I saw his video this morning. He had so the second month of crossing $1,000 a month, starting from scratch, just building up his business, like this whole thing online while he's still working full time. What's cool about it is like Anthony is here in the chat a little bit, but he's actually at work right now. He's just utilizing this time to listen and commingle a little bit. And I also wanted to shout him out and congratulate him for crossing 500 subscribers on his YouTube channel. Totally earned the harmonica there. I also wanted to take this moment to shout out Paul, who is in the chat. He said he is slaving over the stove right now, making tea over there in the UK. Paul, I actually thought had fallen off the wagon because of work, and he would have been totally excused because, we got to support our families and all the rest. But I saw Paul's update video this morning, and Paul actually crushed April, like 30 posts type of crush. So somebody who's going full-time at work, sometimes more than full-time, and still managed to get 30 posts out there. I'm just like so proud of you. That's really amazing. It is. And I know you don't feel like it is because you're like, oh, I'm just doing my thing. And like I think your goal initially was, 10 posts a month. So to get 30 and to be almost at 100 posts, like that's extraordinary. Like it's just really great. I also wanted to, I wanted to shout out Mom Van Up. That's Sabina. And she's in the MIGA spreadsheet, and she usually posts like a couple hundred words a day, 500 here, 500 there, which is all really great. But she had a 2,600 word day. And when you have lots of children, let me tell you, being able to sit down and write long enough to be able to write close to 3,000 words, that's huge. So it tells me that you're finding time in the day and also feeling motivated and enthusiastic. And so I just love having you in the group because it makes me want to work harder to keep up with you. Anyway, in the chat, Adrian, what's going on? Adrian's aged website apparently is doing really well, and I'm jealous. And then I wanted to say, let's see. Sabina says, I'm going to do a screencast with my stats soon. So using some sort of like just to show how you're doing. Says nothing is moving at all. Heavy sigh. I'm not giving up. Yeah, what happens when you're first getting started is that it takes a while. And the thing that you have to watch out for when you're in YouTube, like watching other people's case study videos and you're seeing their sites moving really early, like that's not typical for people who are just getting started. In fact, I was in a Discord server the other day and somebody was talking about all this work that they had done, right? And the site is what, like 4, 5, 6 months old. And they're like, oh, I'm so disappointed. Nothing's happening. I'm like, when I started, I mean, if we saw like a blip in month 4, we'd be excited. And now because of what people are doing with links and low competition keywords, it's like if the site hasn't taken off at month 5 or 6, like people are like, it's a fail. Like, because other people are posting their results where they're just kicking ass. Like, that's just not typical. People, like, it's okay if the site has not taken off at 6 months. It doesn't mean it's a fail. It just means that more needs to happen. Sometimes it's time. Sometimes it's content. Sometimes it's learning. Like, it's just, that's the danger of the comparison, like, thing. And I'm guilty of it. I'm just as guilty of it as anybody else. Jeff is in the house, literally listening on my phone. Thanks for that. That made me laugh. He's in the house. Apparently Will had a good video this last week, so I want to know which video that is so that I can go and watch it. The AI video. Okay. The AI video. So Will's got a new AI video and I need to check that out. Let's see. So many children, says Sabina. Thank you. AB Edit says, yo, just saw. Yep, I'm here. And so there's a couple things that I want to do today. One is I am going to do like an accountability statement. Here's where I'm at. 2, I need you all to do the same because that is one of the things that we do here when we meet on Wednesdays is say, here's what I'm working on. Here's what I managed to achieve in the last week. And if I didn't achieve my goals from last week, like, why not? And what am I going to actively do this week to get there? Like, this is an action takers group. Like, this is an action takers community. It doesn't have to be big action. It doesn't have to be save the world tomorrow action. It's just kind of selfish because like I'm getting ready to go into like a really big month and I just need everybody else to be there. Yes. What did crazy me? I decided that I was going to publish 50 posts on the MIGA site in the month of May. For some people, that is like, but for me, that's a lot. It's kind of a struggle to get past 30. I mean, I have to really work hard because I don't work every single day on this. Like, I have kids, I have life. So 50 posts for me with a goal of getting to 500 by the end of the year on my MIGA site. Like, it's big. So, and I have had a slow start this month. So far, it's the 5th and I only have 2 articles, which means I have a lot of work ahead of me. Like, I really do. John says, it's getting much harder and the wait is getting longer, it seems. Yet, it seems like everybody posting on YouTube makes it seem like the wait is getting shorter and their sites are taking off sooner. And I'm not going to name any names, but I can think of a few people out there who are just getting some amazing results really early. And I'm like, ugh! Like, obsessively follow them. And like, literally, I mean, I don't know what their sites are, but I'm like obsessively reading their blog posts and like comparing numbers, like screenshotting their numbers and then checking with mine, because you say, okay, if I could get on the same trajectory as them in month 5, then maybe at month 15, I'll be where they are. So I'm like, okay, like try to replicate this as best as I can. I just, Sabina says, you got it right in your update. The comparison will kill you. Yes. The thing about our space is that watching other people's YouTube videos is kind of how we learn, because you can pay for a course, you can work for other people, but ultimately, like, the case study videos, I feel like, are the bread and butter for our learning, like watching people and them sharing what they have learned and what worked for them and what didn't. And then you going and trying these things out for yourself and implementing it. But the thing is you see their results in those same learning videos, and you can't really avoid them. And you can't help but compare yourself to them because you know how things are going. So Dave says the AI videos have reassured me that blogging is safe for the next 10 years. And the thing about conversion.ai is that I feel like calling it artificial intelligence is kind of misleading. Not that I'm an AI specialist in any means, but several years ago, I guess not that many years ago, I mean, article spinners, where you just have a service where you set up little holes and things and give the spinner the opportunity to just pull a random image from Google and pull a random word from here and here. And I mean, all you did was set it up so that it created content for you. Maybe there's less steps going into it now. Like maybe you're excused because you're not necessarily realizing where the content is coming from, but it's pretty much just spinning content that is out there. So I wish they didn't call it artificial intelligence. And somebody can school me, please school me on my lack of knowledge and understanding how the AI plays into it. Like I school me, like I'm inviting you to inform me on my ignorance. I long to be educated about my ignorance on this topic. Let's see. Will says, I saw on Twitter someone who was getting 60,000 sessions per month after 6 months. Oh boy. And then I asked how many articles they had, and they had 400. No wonder. They never disclosed they had tons of content. Yeah, I can't think of a single instance where I saw someone who had crazy numbers in the first 4 to 8 months that didn't have an astronomical number of articles. And when I say astronomical, I mean more than 200. And I feel like anybody who's able to crank out more than 200 articles is like gambling, right? Like you're investing a ton of money without necessarily knowing for sure if the site is going to take off. Or they must really know what they're doing. But yeah, so folks who are sitting at home who have managed to put a really good effort in, but have between 70 and 100 articles in the first 6 months, that's a great accomplishment. But it feels not that great when you see stuff like that. Sabina says, I'm always looking at metrics, at these videos for metrics. I can look to see if I'm getting it right. I know, and that's where the trouble lies, because what you see, these numbers, and then they demotivate you. At least that's my experience, is you see them and you feel less motivated to work. So Pavan says, conversion AI uses natural language processing, NLP, not AI. So basically writing the same thing in a different way. So it's a spinner. And people are like super fired up about something that is basically like a black hat. I would call it a black hat technique. Like if somebody came to me with an article, like just called it an article spinner and was like, this is what I use. And then I'd be like, now to be fair, I mean, most affiliate content is article spinning without using a tool, right? I mean, really, like going and like doing your research online and like just looking at the information out there and writing your own article. I mean, is that so different? So as I go down the road of maybe calling out artificial intelligence, I also have to acknowledge for our community what a lot of affiliate and info content is. Just another version of that. It just makes it easier. AB Edit says Google is like 3 months wait time and then count 6 months. So 9th month became, yeah, I mean, people say that they think the sandbox is longer than ever. And I don't know if it's because it's more competitive, like there's more content that is out there ever, or because the metrics, like how Google is looking at the, what authority is and means and what a site needs to have to become an authority. I don't know. The jury's still out on that. I did want to just use this opportunity to make the call for the folks who have not gotten Ezoic Leap or are thinking about it. I'm pretty sure that the rollout is coming out this week to everybody. It may be out already, or folks may be getting it, but I did just want to say, anybody who is getting that and feels overwhelmed, I know are other folks in this group who are live or on the replay who are using it. And so if you have questions about what it is, or if you're having trouble with it and aren't getting those answered through Ezoic, like through their support, I have to imagine that they're just getting slammed by people who need help. So if you need help with that, I'm running it on 3 sites so far. And as far as like results, I'm still working on it, still working with it, but so far it hasn't destroyed and broken everything, which I feel like is at least a good start. And I can tell that they're continually working on updating things as it goes. So I expect it to get better, but I just wanted to remind people that if you need help with it, like there are other people in this group who probably know more than I do about it. So feel free to ask. So the next thing I want to do is kind of admit to stupidity is not the right word. I have a difficulty. People tell me all the time that I need to do listicles, right? And I don't necessarily do like a lot of listicles because I never really know how to get from the keyword term to the listicle. What I mostly focus on when I'm writing info content is just answering questions, right? I look for info posts that just focus on somebody looking for answers to a question. So I have a hard time turning the question like how to get rid of brown spots in my grass. And I say that because I'm looking out the window at the brown spots in my grass. And so somebody asks that question, and then I say, okay, the answer is, here's how you get the brown spots out of the grass. But what I don't think of necessarily as 5 ways to get brown spots out of the grass. I just think, here's your answer. And I don't necessarily have a good way to turn it into a list with numbers. And especially when the search term that you're aiming for is like brown spot, like grass spots. So if you're like looking at a more broad thing, I see people with animal sites do it all the time where they're like calico cat. And then they turn the search term like calico cat into a listicle. And I am really terrible at that. So if folks have any suggestions or like for the good of the order, I can't possibly be the only one I'm terrible at this. John says steps. So step 1, step 2, that is something that I can do. Like, because it's like it follows along in the answer, right? Like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. But if somebody, says AirPods, like not necessarily best AirPods, but like AirPod problem, or I don't know. It's just, it's to me, like if it's a question, then the answer doesn't always suggest a listicle. Like it just suggests the answer. And then what do I call it? Like people come up with these super cool headlines. Like I've got the search term and I'm like the answer. John says it doesn't have to have numbers to be a listicle. I guess I always think of a listicle as something that's got numbers in it because you'll have to forgive me because I'm generalizing or stealing this statement from somebody else, but don't headlines like the titles that have numbers in them, like just perform better overall, like get a better click-through rate. I mean, I could be wrong here, but that's just what I've heard. And so I'm always trying to figure out how to get a number into my title somewhere. And he's like, absolutely. I'm like, yes. I know. And what's funny about this is that the chat is dead on this topic. So there's 2 things that are happening here. One is y'all are experts at this and you think that I'm a moron because I don't understand listicles. 2, there's like completely no interest at all in talking about listicles, and I should just marinate on this on my own. Or 3, you guys are like watching another stream and my stats, I can't actually tell how many people are live in here. This is when I drink coffee, everybody. And ask people to smash the like button while you're at it. Sabina says, I'm not a good enough writer to contribute here. Oh, come on now. This is not a place where we're like have to be concerned about experience or not experience. This is like the pub, right? Like I have admitted multiple times on the stream, like kind of embarrassing things about my like knowledge holes, like in SEO. Like, guess what? That happens, and who cares? I mean, I don't care. I'll take the bullet on this one. I'll just admit I don't know, and then see what happens. Pavan says, consider a few things related to brown spots, like brown spots and 12 other things. Okay, that's interesting. So you have the keyword there in the headline, and then you actually write and 12 other things like associated with that actually fits in the headline. Because I can easily write like 12 other things. Do you actually put like in the headers of each of these sections, like number 1, number 2, and like count them out? Or do you just let them be and just be like brown spots, and then you put fertilizer, and then you put grass seed, and then just put them down in a row? Adrian says, actually, Chris from Niche Safari did some tests and found out that number 7 is the most used one in listicles. Yep, it doesn't surprise me, first of all, that Chris did a video about it, and that's probably where I heard it. And then 7, isn't that like the number of like the marketing manipulation? Like people really like numbers that end in 7. So maybe if you had 17 or 7 or 27 ideas, that people are more likely to click it over 28 and 8 and like 5. Interesting. Jeff says, I'm so close to 30 articles on my first site. Woohoo! Currently 27. More 7s. Maybe we should stop because it's 27. Goal for the month is 10, but I'm very focused on the next 3. I feel like every threshold that you cross, you should take an opportunity to reward yourself. Maybe it's a donut. Maybe it is taking a day off, but just, you have some sort of positive reinforcement for meeting those small goals that only you know. Leona says, think of the relationship to your keyword for lipsticks. Brown grass relation, green grass, red grass. Relationship to keyword for lipsticks. Your title comes after your content, though. I don't know. For me, a lot of times I write the title first because that way it keeps me on task, right? I said, okay, this is the title, and here's what I'm planning on doing, so that I don't get all the way through the article and realize that the article is like meandering, like I'm planning on sitting down and writing about the 10 best ways to fix my terrible looking grass out here. And so then I check every paragraph. Is like, this serve that topic, that headline? Because if it doesn't, then it doesn't belong here. But I guess that comes back to how people write content. That's just how I write mine. Oh, lipsticks. Listicles. Okay, I was so confused when it was like lipsticks. I was like, is this another one of those things that everybody knows about that I don't? Like my lipsticks to my green grass. I'm like, Think of your relationship to your keyword for listicles. Brown grass relation, green grass. One of the things I definitely am paying, well, I'm just trying harder. That's all I can say. I actually, thinking of listicles, before I came on live this morning, I was thinking about listicles plus the holiday shopping season in Christmas. Give me a high five or something in the chat if you are planning out or you are writing articles aimed at the holiday season, if you're aimed at the holiday shopping season. Because if you aren't, and you have a new site, you don't have any, you're on Amazon affiliate, like maybe now would be a good time to do that, because hopefully between now and December, they would have time to rank and you could get traffic with them and earn with them. That's what I was working on today. And they're listicles. They're listicles. So I'm maybe that's why I'm thinking about listicles as I'm trying to figure out how to write these so that I can earn more. Is the Amazon cash. Sabina says, I'm wicked proud of myself. So when you say wicked proud, then I know you must be from the Northeast, probably like Massachusetts and north. Not that I'm not harassing you. It just that's the only place in the US where people say wicked cool or wicked bad or wicked awesome. She says, I'm wicked proud of myself for picking a niche and committing without getting affirmation from anyone. That's awesome. I just niche down confidently. Yeah, I mean, there's can be great things in getting second opinions, but I think success here online is like making decisions for yourself and then accepting the outcome of it. You say, okay, I made this decision, it worked. I made this decision, it didn't. I think there's more to be learned from I made this decision and it didn't work than it is with I made a decision, somebody else said it was good, and then I went. Sabina says, I've heard that about 9 too. I think 9 is like the old way, like $1 versus 99 cents. And I think 7 is the new 9. That's what I think. I would prefer if it was a round number though, because then I don't have pennies at home. Pavan says, keep more than 8 because the snippet will show up to 8 items. Okay, so if you put in more than 8 items, then somebody who's looking at the snippet will see that there's more. So they see the first 8 and they're like, I have a reason to click into this article. Now that is thinking. That is clever. You say, okay, well, how do I get somebody to go beyond the snippet? So they look at the snippet and they got all their information. They just go shopping and they don't click on your affiliate link. But if you see more than 8 and they're like, all right, the first 8 are really good. And they're like, and more, then they have a reason to click. That is genius. I'm willing to just shout out Pavan for genius. Renat, what is going on? Thanks for dropping in. I don't feel like we have caught up in a while, and I would love to know how things are going. That's totally cool. Margaret says, what do you title your holiday posts? Top gifts for X. So I'll just admit to needing maybe some crowdsourcing. So I have the keyword is gifts for, and then a particular person, a particular audience. So I was planning on, instead of doing top gifts for, because that's not the search term that I'm picking up, it says gifts for blank. And then I was going to put a colon and then put some other something like gifts for yard lovers, fence lovers, sky lovers. Like these are the things I see. So gifts for lawn aficionados and then semicolon. And then I was going to put something like 7 top best, amazing, unique choices for him. I don't know. What do you guys put? I would love to know. Sabina says, I'm from Maine. Well, there you go. That is the only place. That's like a regional thing. Because over here on the left coast, the best coast, we don't use wicked anything. Unless we're talking about witches. Classic Portuguese transplant. Leona says, on the 8th one, add at the end of the statement, plus. Okay. Margaret says, I was curious if you put the holiday in the title, Christmas or Thanksgiving. I think if the keyword search term was Christmas gifts, then I would. If it's just gifts for, then I probably wouldn't, because maybe somebody is searching for birthday or because in that particular topic, like the gifts listicles that I was working on this morning, people don't appear to be searching Christmas gifts for this group. It's just gifts for. But some other niches, I think you see more searches for Christmas gifts for paddleboarders or Christmas gifts for them. So if that was a search term that was consistent, I would say go for it. But you also see like birthday gifts or teacher gifts, like farewell gifts. So if it's like the kind of gift that a lot of people search for, then I would go, like it would niche down between Christmas gifts versus farewell gifts versus sympathy gifts for that particular one. I just don't think my niche is big enough for that. But if it was like teachers, right? They have like Valentine's Day gifts for teachers and farewell gifts and sympathy gifts and end of the year gifts for teachers. And I'd be like, roll with it, because those people are looking very specific for Christmas or for that. But in a smaller niche, I think that gifts for is probably going to get the same traffic Christmas birthday. I mean, for me, it just doesn't seem worthwhile to do a separate birthday one versus Christmas one, because in my niche for my MIGA site, especially, there's not like holidays, a lot of holiday specific gifts that make it different. Like a birthday gift for a teacher versus a farewell gift for a teacher. Now, if there was like a lot of stuff that would be very specific to Christmas or to any other like religious holiday, then maybe. But for me, I'm not doing Christmas gifts. I'm just doing gifts because that doesn't seem very competitive at all. Like there's almost no people targeting that for some of the search terms. Surprise your favorite lawn enthusiasts. So clever gifts for, okay. So there's the initial search term. We're like cramming it to the left of the headline, which is gifts for lawn lovers, semicolon. Renat says, I think it's too risky to target just one event like Christmas. If you miss it, you need to wait another year to improve your content. Yeah, the concern would be that someone who is searching for a birthday gift in July would see a Christmas post and then be like, not interested in going down the road of Christmas gifts. I want a birthday gift. But if you are doing just gifts for, but again, I really think it's like how big the niche is, because then you would have birthday gifts and you would have Christmas gifts. You would have posts that focus on both, and that would be okay, because I think that people would be looking specifically for those. The concern always is Google going to see birthday gifts and Christmas gifts as basically the same search term, like birthday gifts for lawn lovers, Christmas gifts for lawn lovers. And so are you competing against yourself if you do Christmas versus birthday? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that it's specific enough, like it's niched down from gifts for lawn lovers versus like Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, especially if the content is different. Now, if the content is exactly the same, then I would just do the ultimate gift guide for this topic, for the ultimate gift guide, year-round gifts for your spouse that loves his lawn or something. Renat says, I'm moving more and more away from product-related content. Yeah, I don't think you're the only one, Renat. I think a lot of people are moving more towards info content just because Amazon is no longer like this cash cow that it was. And there's a very real fear that Amazon will not be an option for us in the future. So having any sort of ads-based income be the way to go. And there are just so many keywords for info content. It's like wide open in some of those niches where there's just not very much like, at all. And why go and compete for best beard trimmer, and like pouring all your money into best beard trimmer when you could go and do a bunch of other posts that you could rank for. Pavan says, as long as you don't have competition, then broad one works. But if you have competitors, then go specific. There you go. He basically said everything that I said for 10 minutes and put it in like one sentence. Thank you. John says, you should definitely have some, but info content is so much better. So you're saying people should have some product related content, but also have as much info content as you can. I think definitely trying to have like balance, right? That was, I think, one of the takeaways after the Christmas update was that balance between affiliate content and info content is important. And for folks that are looking to get approved for ad networks, a lot of the ad networks, if it's like just straight affiliate content, you might not get approved for ads with some of the affiliate networks. Like they want a real site that has information. It isn't just trying to sell people. It's not just all commercial. So you might have a big site, but if it's all best of articles, then you might not get approved. Some of the pickier networks. And the same is true even for basic AdSense. I had a straight affiliate site that had no like info content. Like, every single post was about recommending a specific product, and it was compliant every other way. And like even AdSense was like, nah. And it's never been approved for AdSense, which I feel like is like the bottom. Learn my lesson. Renat says, there is no proof in that you need a balance. Matt Diggity may spread this rumor, but it's still a rumor. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. There's no like hardcore proof, right? Google hasn't come out and said it. I think a lot of people are trying to just figure out what happened and why. And it makes sense to me that if what Google wants, the algorithm is looking for is sites that are more natural, like is moving away from just straight people trying to sell stuff, then having info content on the site makes sense. Do I know for sure that that is why? I don't. And it to me, like I pick and choose from the things that people say and the things that make sense to me. Having a balanced site makes sense to me, but I'm not going to preach it like it is the thing, right? Like I don't know. I don't have a course. I I don't go full guru over here. I just talk about what I'm doing, what I'm working on. But yeah, I mean, there's no proof that that is the way that is. That's just what I'm doing. And frankly, I find info content way easier to write anyway, because I'm not that great at writing affiliate content, like at all. So, cheers. Renat says that the problem with product reviews is that that is like doorway pages. And when all your pages are like that, then it is not good for the overall metrics of your site. Yeah, I mean, they are just coming to your site once and then going away. And so ideally, if you could find a way to keep people on your site for longer, if they could go to other aspects and like follow the architecture of your site elsewhere, that definitely sends way more positive signals to Google than if somebody just goes and then goes off. And I don't know if it's a matter of like, because there are good sites, right, that have a high bounce rate. Like, people get obsessed with bounce rate, and I don't care that much about bounce rate because just because you have a high bounce rate doesn't mean that people aren't coming to your site and getting what they need and then going on to do other things. Like, I think that if somebody was to go on your site, read the article, and then X out of Chrome or whatever, I think that counts as a bounce. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that if somebody doesn't click on something else in your site, like on the homepage or on another article, then that counts as a bounce, even though somebody might have gotten their question completely answered and then just ended their session. Like, got it, I'm done, I'm good. Renat says, especially when product reviews are optimized to get the visitor as soon as possible to Amazon. I don't optimize reviews at the moment. Yeah, like they put the Amazon link above the fold. So that's the first thing they see is here's the product and then take me to Amazon, and that before you see anything else. Yeah, I mean that so you're on the page for like very, very little time before you bounce. John says, I'm pretty sure John Mueller said that bounce rate is not a ranking factor. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it should be, but yet people are still obsessed about it. Like in buying and selling of websites, they're looking at Google Analytics and like, oh, your bounce rate is really high. So what? What is it? What I mean, the thing I like about the big data analytics thing in Ezoic is that it gives you the navigation bounce rate. So it tells you if people came to your site and then just backed away like quickly, like, oh, like wrong thing or not what I wanted, versus somebody who goes back after spending a longer time on your site. And I feel like that gives me more useful metrics because then I can have an idea of if people are getting there and are immediately like, meh, or if it's like an accident versus, okay, I'm on the site for a minute and then like a true bounce versus I don't like this bounce. Sabina says, that's what I've read too. Pavan says, if somebody applied to AdSense during COVID, there's 90% chance for rejection. It happened to my friend 2 times, but third time Google informed them they have less number of employees, and that's the reason for rejections. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people who wanted to get into AdSense at that time and couldn't. And they weren't saying last year at this time that was, I mean, we assumed that was the problem. They just couldn't, because not even so much less employees, but their employees like used to be on site or used to be working together and then just were unable to work. And I don't actually know how that's played out for them and if that has gotten any better. Renat says, John Mueller is an expert and not telling the exact truth. I don't want to say anything libelous. I just think that when Google tells us stuff from representatives, that taking everything with a grain of salt, meaning just take a look at your metrics and take a look at how things are performing for you and just kind of doing your best. It sucks, but you just kind of got to do your best. John says, high bounce rate could mean great value depending on the content. They got what they needed quickly and bounce. Yep, totally. You said quickly what I said very slowly. Pavan says, implement an exit pop up for increasing time on page. Do not worry about the bounce rate. Yeah, if you're worried about bounce rate, then don't. I have not implemented the exit intent pop-ups because I find them annoying for myself, but I have definitely talked to other people who have found that they can be really good for getting affiliate commissions, assuming that you're working with an affiliate program that approves the affiliate link in the pop-up, right? Or for getting people onto the email list. I just have been trying to do as little as possible on my posts right now, especially because of all the speed considerations and the metrics, but people who are doing this can have good experiences with it. Steve says, sorry, I just had a notification that you were live. Yeah, YouTube is not that great about getting out timely notifications. Sometimes because I have this second channel, and on my main channel, because I'm subscribed to this channel, I will get the notification like tonight at like 8 o'clock that this live stream was going on. Like, that's really helpful, YouTube. Thanks. Thanks for being there for me. Oh, man. All right. The important thing that we do before we wrap up is everybody who is working in the chat, what are we going to get done by next Wednesday? Like, what action are you going to take this week? And I will commit to, I think I'm going to need to get at least, I'm going to write this down, 15 posts up on the MIGA site. And I also need to do probably 2 YouTube videos, which is a huge amount of content production for me, but I don't have a video up this week and I won't have time probably next week to do it. So that's what I'm just verbally committing to. Please kick my next week if I am unable to get it together, because I deserve it. Because if I want to get to 50 posts this month, when I look at this, I'm looking at the MIGA spreadsheet over there. It's like, okay, if I said it, I better get in there and better get it. John says, are you seeing lower traffic? Ooh, is anybody else seeing lower traffic? There was some rumbles about some Google tweaks. The only site that I have looked at, honestly, is my MIGA site. Like, I don't bother checking any of my other stuff because I don't care. It's like I'm only interested in the site that I am working on. So let's go see. Let's go see what I've got here. I see 2019 case study is pretty flat. Well, in the last week, I guess there was a dip about a week ago. And then yesterday, it looks like it recovered. Let's see. Let's look at another one. So yeah, John, I did see a dip starting last week, but I see one site has dramatically improved in the last week, that it got slaughtered around Christmas. And this one, this is not one I share, but this is one of my sites I purchased from Empire Flippers. So last week it was seeing 80 visits a day, and this last week it's seeing 400. So it went from 80 visits a day to 400 visits a day. And turns out that would have been cool to be paying attention to, but I wasn't paying attention to it. So I'll check one more to see if there's anything else exciting. So my conclusion from this is probably that there was some sort of rumble with Google in the last week. I don't know what or why or how. And this site looks pretty flat. So on 2 of my sites, I see bumps and bruises in the last week, and then one site is not. What does that mean? I don't know. I hope that helps with your question. It is weird. It is weird. So Margaret says 1 post per day on the MIGA site. So your goal is to get to 20 posts on the MIGA site. So that's, if you do 1 post a day, that should get you, I guess you have multiple sites. So, all right. So 1 post a day. Do it. Pavan says, I'm planning on starting a YouTube channel. Ooh, Ooh, are you gonna do YouTube, Pavan, on like SEO and websites, or are you gonna do a niche specific one? Because if you're doing well, either of them, feel free to share them with me, and we'll talk about them here to help try to get some traffic. But 100 videos in 100 days, so I did that in 2019. 2018, 2019. I did 100 videos in 100 days in the summer of 2019. And most of those videos I have deleted like subsequently, but that is definitely where my channel took off. Like I finally went from like slogging along, slogging along, slogging along, and started finally to get some subscribers. Problem is just the videos I made were really bad. And hopefully you can make better videos than I can make. Because like I said, YouTube is not. It happened. D says 5 posts and then backdate some on page SEO on one site. The accountability. Hey, this is an action taker's place. Everybody here should be doing something to move forward. Like lurking is fine. No, lurking is not fine. Let's do something. Adrian says, my plan for the week, add more articles, more pins, and more internal links, add some affiliate links, start monetizing. Yep, internal links is something I'm definitely actively working on now. I'm using the free version of Link Whisper on the MIGA site right now. People are using the paid version of it so that they can get the links suggested. But for me, so far, what I like most about Link Whisper is just that I can see which posts have links to them and don't, and how many. And then it gives me the option to tab in to see which posts. So it like which posts it links to. So then, if I'm doing an audit later, I can look at the post and be like, ooh, those articles don't really match that well. Or say, okay, well, I think I about have it. So the free version, if you're not using it, there is a free version, and I think it's useful. And they didn't pay me to say that. There's no affiliate link in the description. That's just my experience. Renat says, I'm planning on moving all my AdThrive site to Ezoic. Oh, dang. Really? I feel like everybody is talking about going, everybody. There's a lot of talk from people about wanting to go the other way. And so I would love to hear more about your decision to move to Ezoic from AdThrive. Because why? I would love to know this. I really would. Steve says, I think I've been hacked. As there's loads of unknown suspicious URLs and Ezoic questionables, yet no pages are posted in WP admin. So I think when you're on with Ezoic, that there are going to be some Ezoic stuff that's going to be, it's just going to be a part of it. But if there are URLs that you don't recognize, then yeah. Yet no pages or posts, a mystery where they're coming from and why they divert elsewhere. I agree. Margaret says, that's ambitious. Best of luck. I think he can totally do it. Will says, does anyone use Host Armada? I do not, but anyone else? Do you use Host Armada? And is it fast? Thanks. Adrian says, very fast, good support. So there you go. That you're welcome. There's Alex. Hey, so look, I got it on and I doubled up. Not only am I in the shirt today, but I've got the mug. Pavan says, literally not 100 days, but so you're going to make 100 videos in 10 days. So it was ambitious before, but I feel like I must be getting this wrong. So you're going to do, and I assume you're going to drip the videos out. So you spend 10 days and make 100 videos and then drip them out over the year, or like how, like what is your, I'm so interested now. Like what is your publishing schedule going to be? I just have to know this. And yes, share the channel with us when you start it, because I think that it's going to be valuable to us. Alex says he's lurking. Yes, I shouted out the lurkers, but at least, Alex, you are an action taker and it's okay to lurk. That's fine. It's okay. Let's see. Yep, Alex has a link and a discount code. Renat says higher earnings. What else? Well, there you go. There you go. I just wondered if it was like service or whatever. Like I didn't know. I was just curious. Margaret says, my sites are in the USA and I'm not. I switched from SiteGround mostly due to cost. Adrian says, I switched some of my sites from SiteGround to Host Armada. Very good. The light speed option. Pavan says, Steve, please make a backup. That is a really good idea. Adrian says that Alex's link has a good discount. Will says, I wanted to use your link, but I'm reconsidering because of the giveaway with tears. Like, I must have missed something yesterday. I can't always catch the live, like other people's live streams. He says, nice tea, nice. I'm surprised that you didn't notice because, you know, you are lurking. John says, that WP Eagle guy must be pretty cool for you to be wearing that shirt. Well, he is, but to be fair, if somebody were to send me merch, hint, 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 I'd probably wear it because I love getting free stuff. Like, I just love it. I don't know many things that make me more excited and about life than getting free stuff. I don't know what that says about me at all, but free stuff is the best. Steve says, thanks, Pavan, thanks for we'll make a backup now, include the code, whatever it is that's making the URLs. Yeah, but at least if you have the backup, if you were to make some changes and making the changes destroys your site, at least you would have the backup that you could start over fresh from. Will says, nah, I'm joking. I'll use the code, but please rig the next giveaway. I want the mug. You basically have a thing going here, Alex. You build a YouTube channel giving away mugs. Let's see. Jeff says, I appreciate you all for keeping me company while I cleaned all my downstairs tile. You are welcome. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Basically getting me fired up to go and write a whole bunch of articles today. I'm going to write and produce content as much as I possibly can over the next few days because I have some time. I look forward to catching up with you next week. And again, 15 posts for me, 2 YouTube videos. That's the goal. Everybody's got their goals, whether they shared them or not. Be prepared to be called out on them next week. And for the folks who are in the chat, Alex and Will and Paul, if he is still cooking the tea and still here, Margaret and Adrian and Renat and John and Steve and Sabina, thank you so very much for coming in. It means the world to me and it helps a lot. And I cannot wait to see you guys, talk to you guys, hear from you next week on Wednesday. Thank you so much. We'll see you.